BricsCAD is computer-aided design software for designers, engineers, construction, and manufacturing professionals. It's a cost-effective, unified 2D and 3D platform that delivers better value from day one. Built on the industry-standard DWG format, there's no need for file conversions. You can work freely with existing designs in a familiar and intuitive interface, making any transition smooth. BricsCAD is optimized for performance, delivering fast results even on large, complex files. And AI-driven tools help you design faster and smarter. Choose from multiple product levels, industry-specific tool sets, and hundreds of third-party applications. We offer subscription, perpetual, and network licensing options, all available at a fair price and with access to expert product support. Discover the true CAD alternative. Try BricsCAD today.
Hello and welcome everyone to this V26.2 release presentation. We have a packed agenda for you, starting with an overview of some rather important changes for the company as a whole. We'll hear from Gray Holland about what's happening for general design, and we'll hear about what's new in the industry toolsets from Keith Perrin. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to David J. Acher, who explained the exciting changes happening for Bricsys at our recent partner conference.
Before we start, who has seen this logo last couple of days, right? So please let me introduce you to Octave. So let me explain you a bit, what Octave is. Hexagon is planning to spin off 5 businesses from the core Hexagon group. And as you can see, we are thinking big. We are a unicorn from day one, $1.5 billion of revenue, more than 7,000 employees. And we're going to operate as one company, one brand, and one strategy. Now, as a consequence, we're also going to have to retire Bricsys as a company name. So moving forward, we will show up as Octave, and we're going to present ourselves as BricsCAD by Octave. Now, this is not a concept. This is real already. This is, if you today look to our website, this is how it's going to look like. So we are already fully branded as Octave.com. But, nice, big one company, but what's the plan? What's the strategy for Octave? Well, it's all about the asset lifecycle. It's about connecting every phase for an asset, from design to build to operations to protection. So design, build, operate, protect. That's what it's all about. These are the 4 pillars. And it's not necessarily about revolutionizing what's happening in the pillars. It's really the strategy to connect them and to create a continuous flow of intelligence across the entire life cycle, And all of that in one platform, the Octave platform. And that's what we call, intelligence at scale. So where does BricsCAD sit into that picture? Well, we are part of the design portfolio. We sit at the heart of the design pillar. And we are basically, in the whole Octave strategy, we are the execution engine with BricsCAD of the Octave lifecycle. So we add critical value to that story at the intersection of design and build, So where accuracy, documentation, completeness matters most. Now, that brings me to the question, of course, what does this mean for BricsCAD, right? What changes? A lot of people asked me already yesterday too, what's changing? Does this change with Octave? Not at all. Not at all. BricsCAD remains exactly what it is today. Octave strengthens it. It expands it. So what Octave brings to the table to our story is that with BricsCAD, we now participate in a much bigger story. The impact of BricsCAD goes beyond design. We can now contribute to intelligence that powers organizations build, operate, and protect their most critical assets. And it also, Octave is reinforcing where we are stronger. As I said, we are at that intersection of design and build, And even in a fully connected life cycle, the handoff matters even more, The accuracy matters more. And that's now exactly where BricsCAD excels already today. So Octave is not a shift away. I'm going to repeat it again. It's not a shift away from our core focus. it's a multiplier of it, you know? So if you ask me what 2026 is all about, well, for me, it's not really about surviving, you know? It's about thriving. It's not about reducing the ambitions, it's about raising the bar. And success in 2026 will belong to those who dare to go after the opportunities. It will be for those who start to think bigger. And that's now exactly what we would like to do together with you. So keep that in mind.
We hope that this overview of BricsCAD by Octave has gotten you as excited as we are. Let's hear from our brand new Executive Manager for General Design, Gray Holland.
Hi, I'm Gray Holland, Strategy Enablement and Product Management Director for General Design at BricsCAD. I've spent decades in design and product leadership. I've always been drawn to the places where design thinking meets workflow productivity. That's exactly what drew me into BricsCAD, a platform intent on building the foundation of what CAD alternative needs to be. BricsCAD 26.2 is not only a stability update of hundreds of fixes, it's also full of new functionality and performance improvements designed to increase your productivity in your daily work. Let's dive in, shall we? First, let me remind you what BricsCAD does. We don't do everything. We excel across this workflow centered on how you go from design development to detailed design. We build tools that help you import or create data, optimize and edit that data, detail and annotate your drawings, and publish production documentation. We don't focus on front-end creative design. We target specific workflows that enhance your productivity, delivering the fastest path from design to production documentation, making sure creative design gets built properly. Let me talk about how we're closing your functionality gaps in 26.2. We're really listening to you this release. We've introduced a host of tools to close those functional gaps for you, to streamline your existing workflows and to make them faster and easier than ever. Things like view-based compatibility, grip-based context editing, data extraction, Drawing Health Advisor, and of course, dynamic blocks. Before I hand over to Julie for a demo of what's new in 26.2, let me highlight a few of the most exciting features. Drawing Health Advisor. We heard feedback that extending its capability and making more discoverable would help you work so much better. So now it runs in the background. Every time you open a drawing, reports whether it can be optimized and applies only the relevant routines you want. This helps ensure your production drawings are the highest quality possible. Data extraction. We've heard from both technical teams and you that the existing workflow felt unfamiliar and was impacting your productivity. So we've added the ability to better organize data by fields, making sure your tables and reports are structured accurately and ready for immediate use. We've heard how important it is to round-trip data from other CAD systems. So now you can open drawings with AutoCAD layouts and continue working without having to recreate them. To make BricsCAD even more intuitive and work the way you do, we've made entity editing faster than ever. With fewer clicks, less context editing, saving your time on every adjustment. Dynamic blocks, a big one for you, so it's a big one for us. Over the past releases, we introduced dynamic block creation and editing, but we've heard that your major workflows don't just revolve around this. They revolve as much around the mechanics of managing them. So we've invested heavily here. In 26.2, you can create and edit lookup tables, import and create your own tool palette libraries, and we've improved insertion capability, dimensional constraint conversion, and constraint parameter stability. Let's have a look at these great new features in action. Take it away, Julie.
We've added a new experimental feature called BC Parameter, which lets you create constraint parameters in dynamic blocks. For now, it's only available in the command line. And here I'm adding two parameters, one for the length and one for the height of this rectangle. The new parameters appear in the Parameters Manager as dimensional constraint parameters. In BEdit, you can animate to preview how the parameters behave. Outside of BEdit, you can adjust the width and height using grip points. Here's another example with an existing dynamic block of a light fixture containing a block table. In BEdit, we see the existing dimensional constraints parameters and the existing 2D dimensional constraints. Using BC Parameters Convert option, convert the radius 1 constraint to a BC parameter. It then appears in the Dimensional Constraint Parameters folder. Again, use Animate in BEdit to preview the change to the circle's radius. After saving and exiting BEdit, notice the new grip to adjust the circle's radius. Also note that BC Parameters is Windows only and not available in the US, and blocks that mix geometric constraints with constraint parameters are not yet fully supported. The Sort Data page in the Data Extraction dialog lets you organize your data before you output it. You can choose one or more fields to sort by and pick whether each one sorts in ascending or descending order. The sorting follows field priority, first by the main field, then by any others if there are repeats. The order of the columns in this dialog decides the order in which the rows will be sorted. This helps keep the final table neat and easy to read. The new Health Advisor scans open drawings in the background. Notice the pop-up notification in the lower right corner. Click the link and BricsCAD suggests a new Drawing Health routine to run. Health Advisor is on by default and can be disabled by unchecking the Health Advisor variable in the Settings dialog. You can also select which Health Advisor task to use for the initial drawing scan. Previously, you could add dynamic blocks to a tool palette, but you didn't have much control over their properties. Now you do. Add your dynamic blocks to a tool palette from the Drawing Explorer. Then use the Tool Properties panel in the Tool palette to adjust the block settings. This gives you much better control over how each block behaves when it's inserted into the drawing. This update also makes it easier to import, test, and reuse your existing dynamic blocks in BricsCAD. We've continued enhancing the dynamic block editing environment, and it now includes support for lookup tables. In this example, I'm adding a lookup table to an existing dynamic block of a window. A lookup table is simply a list of preset options, such as standard sizes or values that you can choose from. Here, the lookup table provides a list of heights and widths for this window. This makes selecting the right size faster, easier, and more consistent throughout a drawing or project. Lookup tables are especially useful when you're working with catalog-based parts or blocks that have many variations. And here is the new lookup table that shows the multiple sizes of the window. And here's the same dynamic block right in AutoCAD.
Thanks, Julie. Moving on. To further streamline workflows, especially when you're migrating from AutoCAD, we're introducing BricsCAD Assist. It's a new AI-powered chat panel built right into the interface, giving you instant and relevant documentation, practical how-to tips, and guidance whenever you need it. Now, I know you've all been bombarded with all things AI for some time now. The range from this is the best thing ever to this is going to take all our jobs. So let's hear from David again on the future of BricsCAD and AI.
I think you all have seen the news the last couple of weeks and months. If you talk about multipliers, you cannot run away from the AI topic, right? On AI, what have we been reading? And I guess you read it the same as I do, but what I read is that nowadays AI is capable of replacing enterprise software products. We also have been told that it's the end of the SaaS, sales as a subscription business model. Whereas even, it will probably have a huge impact on our business, maybe on our jobs, maybe even on purpose in life. All of that has been questioned and challenged the last couple of months. Well, I think, and maybe it's relevant as for you as for us, but you cannot run away from the question nowadays, what's your plan with AI? And please, for a couple of minutes, let me walk you through our AI plans. And as I said last year, with BricsCAD, the approach for us is always evolution and not necessarily revolution. So let's start with what AI means where we are, in engineering and construction. And I think AI, where we operate, it cannot be a black box. The work our customers do, that is mission critical. The designs they make, they have real world consequences. So a drawing error doesn't just get fixed downstream. No, it becomes a very expensive problem later on in the project. So professionals in our industries are holding accountability. It's not the AI agent, it's the engineer, the designer, it's the drafter. They're responsible, not the software vendor. So they need control, They need to be able to see what the tool is doing, validate, and make the final call. So how we think about BricsCAD in terms of AI, well, I think we're going to build a BricsCAD, or building a BricsCAD already, that is an AI co-pilot, not necessarily an AI autopilot. That's not what we are up for. And again, as I just said, what are our customers looking for? Well, it's all about productivity. It's all about eliminating the repetitive work, So we have a lot of tools, Blockify, AI Predict, Optimize, tools that recognize patterns, suggest what comes next, clean up work that professionals nowadays slow down. So we are in the works to get them tools that not replace the professional's judgment, but that boost their productivity. We believe in AI as a tool that strengthens human performance, not as a substitute for the relationship that actually close deals, right? So again, not to replace the relationship, but just to strengthen it. And that also brings us to you, right? We consider and still believe you guys are our biggest competitive advantage. Your knowledge, your customer relationships, your ability to have that real conversation, that is not something AI should replace. No, that's something that AI should support.
Now let's see BricsCAD Assist in action, along with other core enhancements like drawing view, compatibility, and the new property filter functionality. Take it away, Mark.
For users working with 3D drawing views from legacy CAD applications, previously in BricsCAD, it wouldn't recognize them as a native format. In V26.2, you've now got the option of converting to BricsCAD native views, and it also preserves the existing layout. You can choose which layouts you wish to convert, and if you don't want to convert them, you can skip the conversion and choose whether you show this dialog box again. And once you hit confirm, it will basically convert to BricsCAD compatible format whilst keeping the original layout if you need it for round-trip data, making it super easy to migrate from legacy CAD applications. To enable our users to leverage the benefits of AI inside BricsCAD, we built BricsCAD Assist that enables you to search based on questions that you've got in terms of features and functions within the application. It will then generate a series of information content based on knowledge base articles, help menus, and it will give you documentation and how-to tips and guidance directly within the interface. With the list that's generated, you can access the content straight away, and you've also got the option of voting and giving feedback on the generation of the content, which will help us shape this product in the future. Once the feedback's sent, you've got the option of copying the content to a clipboard if you want to store it for later on, And then you can also reset the chat and start again. At the bottom right hand corner, you can see where the source information has come from, so it's very easy to relocate the content. We've extended the capabilities of the property-based selection filters. You'll notice you can add a rule, as you've been able to do previously, but we've now got more options available for this. In this example, I want to select one of the faces of this bell crank to be powder coated. When I select it, you can now add it to the rule, and it enables you to pick any surface area with the same value. I can then choose to isolate the faces, making it much easier to highlight which faces need coating. You can also choose to save the filters, so you can recall them at a later date, making it really quick and easy to relocate any selection sets that you've made. Many of us work with imported PDFs from third-party applications and third-party suppliers. Often, the text fields in the PDFs come in as non-editable SHX text, which is an issue if we need to edit them and update any of the text fields. When the PDFs import into BricsCAD, you will notice for here, if I select this text here, it's a series of lines and arcs that can't be edited. So I'm going to get rid of that and convert this text into a SHX editable text field by selecting the window of the text that I want to edit. You'll notice you've got a series of settings that you can change, and for this I'm going to put the micron symbol rather than having it as text. And you'll see here it's now an editable mtext field, making it much quicker to make modifications within the drawing.
Thank you, Gray. Now, before we hand over to Keith to dazzle us with what's new in the industry toolsets, let's have a quick look at just one of the customers that are changing the world with BricsCAD.
We have been using BricsCAD for over a decade now. Overall, it's been a really good experience. Over the years, it has helped us increase the productivity and improve our workflow, especially when collaborating with other departments. We use BricsCAD to create 3D models, design scaffolding structures, and produce technical drawings. It helps us visualize, calculate, and document everything needed by the client and the assembly team. The BIM features in BricsCAD help us stay compatible with our clients' tools. Its interoperability is very useful. It allows us to share files easily without needing extra software. It also helps us manage the different project phases more efficiently. The Andromeda building is a great example. We use BricsCAD throughout the entire project. We received the EFC model of the building, so we didn't need to create it from the scratch. Then we designed a scaffolding solution based on the client's needs, like the suspended scaffolding on the corners and the adjustments for the balconies. In total was about 2,800 square meters of scaffolding. It was a big project, and there was several changes during the project, and using BricsCAD BIM made it easier to update the model quickly and avoid the rework. This flexibility and fast response were a real advantage, and it helped us win the project. So we have started using tools like Optimize and Simplify to clean and improve our drawings. We are also exploring Copy Guided and Move Guided to help us automate tasks and improve design accuracy. Modeling is faster and more precise, which reduces errors and rework. The assembly plans we produce are clear and detailed, improving on-site safety and efficiency. It's also much easier to update projects when changes come in, allowing us to respond to a client quickly. Plus, the ability to export in formats like FPX or DWG help us collaborate better with teams like marketing. We use our 3D models for renders and sales materials. Overall, BricsCAD has helped us deliver projects faster, work more consistently, and present our solution more professionally. When we look for a CAD solution, we wanted something that was easy to use, high performance, and cost-effective. And BricsCAD offers all of that. It also supports the files format we need and works perfectly with OneCAD. our scaffolding design tool, which is essential for us. BricsCAD support is very good. The updates and the new features in every release give us more tools to improve our workflows. Also, the BricsCAD community has been growing over the years, which is great for sharing ideas and learning from the other users. I highly recommend BricsCAD. It's powerful, easy to learn, and great alternative to other CAD tools. BricsCAD has really improved our workflow. We are happy with the results and excited about what we can do in the future.
And now it's over to Keith.
Hi, I'm Keith Perrin, an industry strategy, product management and enablement lead here at BricsCAD. Although I'm relatively new to BricsCAD, I have a 2-decade history of CAD, CAM, CA and PLM. It's rare that one truly gets to make a difference in a career. I'm lucky enough to have a few examples under my belt, and I now feel we have a similar opportunity to make such a difference here at BricsCAD, and in this case with our industry toolsets. Taken as a whole, BricsCAD version 26.2 is a major feature and stability update. It delivers significantly new functionality, performance improvements, and hundreds of fixes. Let's look at some highlights. BricsCAD toolsets are add-ons to BricsCAD Pro, delivering industry-specific integrations, specific modeling and documentation tools that help accelerate best practice, industry-compliant workflows. They cover mechanical and manufacturing with BricsCAD Mechanical, building and infrastructure with BricsCAD BIM, and new is BricsCAD Survey, included in BricsCAD Pro and focused on the civil and survey industry. So what specifically makes a toolset? What's specifically unique or special about them? Why should you consider using them? Well, you tell us you need industry-specific capabilities for modeling and documentation, data and workflow integration, and industry-specific standards. And for that reason, for version 26.2, these are the 3 key points we focused on for our industrial solutions, together with stability, performance, and localization improvements. So, let's have a look in more detail. Let's start with our newest toolset currently available in BricsCAD Pro. Our toolset for civil and survey, BricsCAD Survey, has been getting a lot of attention over the past releases. It's now our second most used industry workspaces, and it's gaining significant kudos for its capability set. Satisfaction and recommendation statistics are some 11% higher than some other competitive systems. And the latest release, version 26.2, continues that theme. The BricsCAD Survey toolset can be boiled down to 3 things. First, it provides survey-specific tools for drafting, modeling, and terrain analysis. It's not just generic CAD, it's built to handle real-world survey workflows at a scale those things demand. Secondly, and critically, it's a true DWG environment for land and building surveys. We're working directly in the file format the industry already trusts without changing platforms, tools, or, more importantly, disrupting standards. Finally, there's a seamless integration with survey data. Whether it's field data, point cloud imports, GIS information, everything connects smoothly into one environment. Ultimately, the result is a faster and cleaner path from field work to final deliverables. So what do we have in store for you with version 26.2? With version 26.2, we've introduced a live connector to the Leica devices. It's not just an import tool, but creates a live bridge between BricsCAD and Leica Infinity. Data changes are immediate, no information is lost or out of date. We also support digital elevation models directly via TIN and GeoTIFF with version 26.2. Digital elevation models are especially important to surveyors because they improve accuracy, efficiency, and decision making across nearly every aspect of surveying. They're a foundation to accurate topographic surveys and deliver faster, more efficient measurements. We've also introduced an automatic real-time point cloud detect, very cool and dynamic tool. It automatically detects linear edges and point clouds with a very dynamic process that saves huge amounts of time delivering accurate geometry extraction from point clouds. In version 26.2, users can also see new GIS export filters that simply allow users to easily export what they need. We also have an ability to copy drawing styles and settings. Very useful tool to enable consistency of drawings across an organization. Finally, we've also spent some significant time focusing on performance and removing issues. The results speak for themselves and add on to some already quite impressive high performance figures. Did you know, for example, that on average we're 9% faster for heavy duty survey operations from competitive systems? In fact, in one case, we're almost 40 times faster. As you can imagine, we're quite excited by BricsCAD for civil and survey. So let's have a look at some of these features in action. Why don't we let Rita Corone show us what this new functionality can do?
With BricsCAD V26.2, the Leica connector creates a live bridge. This is not an import, this is a connection. That means two teams can work at the same project at the same time. While the CAD drafter is designing in BricsCAD, the field team can continue surveying and import data in Leica Infinity. When the new data arrives, BricsCAD doesn't guess. It shows exactly what's new, what's changed, and what stays the same. A digital elevation model, or DEM, represents the shape of the ground as measured from reality. DEMs are commonly produced from LiDAR, photogrammetry, or satellite data. They provide continuous elevation coverage even when no survey points exist. Because of this, DEMs are widely used at the starting point of terrain analysis. They support workflows like earthworks, grading, drainage studies, and infrastructure planning. In BricsCAD 26.2, a DEM can be directly converted into a thin surface. This transforms raw elevation data into editable, design-ready model. And when the work is done, the surface can be exported back to DEM format. This allows the refined terrain to flow back into GIS, analysis tool, or downstream workflow. Exporting GIS data shouldn't require deep GIS expertise. It should be clear, guided, and safe. The new dialog helps users focus on what really matters, starting from the data itself. Attributes are visible and filterable, so you export only what you actually need. Critical choices like coordinate system are no longer hidden or easy to miss. And exporting is not limited to GIS specialists. You can export in KML format. Data can be shared instantly in tools like Google Earth. At the same time, standard GIS formats like shapefiles remain fully supported for professional workflows.
Thanks, Rita. Let's now change our focus to a toolset that's really been getting some great praise and is one of our most popular toolsets. A collaborative focus enabling people to work together has been a theme in the past for BricsCAD for building and infrastructure. This release, version 26.2, builds on these and other ideas, delivering even greater integration performance in building and infrastructure industry workflows. For BricsCAD BIM, we're really honing in on delivering some great value for our customers. So many of you said that a unified 2D and 3D and BIM environment in native DWG has been a game changer. There's no need to change platforms or swap software. Workflows are seamless and can be completed within a one singular environment. Industry standards, compliance, and certified BIM interoperability contributes to significant time savings, cost reductions, and standards. There's no need to go to other software to convert or integrate into other formats, and those standards are promoted across organizations. And we know you don't just work in a vacuum. We can deliver industry data integration, particularly with industry standards like IFC and DWG, but also directly with native connections like Revit, for example, as well as enabling more integrated, customizable integrations with enterprise systems. So, We've taken those ideas a step further with 26.2. We've updated our connector integrations with Autodesk Construction Cloud and Bentley's ProjectWise. This is important for data and workflow interoperability and feature bi-directional data exchange and syncing. We've provided deeper support for IFC with IFC export profiles, which are great for sharing standards, as well as IFC export filters, which are great for focusing on the right information that users want to share. We've also improved our BIM data retention across levels of detail to avoid rework, and we've driven some significant improvements to performance around section views, which are now 10 to 20% faster for generating those views. These are key enhancements, providing a true CAD alternative for AEC workflows. So let's have a look at these ideas in action. Here's Cameron Lobdell to show you more about what these features could do for you.
In BricsCAD BIM, we are building on one of our core strengths, open data exchange. With V26.2, we've added 2 new connectors, Autodesk Construction Cloud and Bentley ProjectWise, making it easier to fit BricsCAD BIM into existing industry workflows. BricsCAD BIM now includes a new IFC export dialog, making interoperability and BIM data exchange more user-friendly. You can select or create export profiles, choose the model view definition your project requires, and filter the geometry and data you want to include. Match properties in BricsCAD BIM now copies all BIM properties, helping teams maintain consistency across elements and levels of detail throughout the project lifecycle. As models become more defined and data-rich over time, this can save hours of repetitive manual updates by letting users apply the familiar Match Properties command just as they would in 2D. Fast, accurate sectioning is critical to efficient BIM workflows. In V26.2, we've improved BIM section performance in BricsCAD BIM, making section generation and refresh faster so teams can work with greater confidence as models develop.
Thanks, Cameron. Let's change gears. BricsCAD Mechanical is about staying familiar while going further for our manufacturing customers. Not just talking about documenting an item here. We're focused on documenting the manufacturing process that creates it. Here, we're particularly adept at automating that process. And it's one of the main reasons why BricsCAD Mechanical is one of our fastest growing toolsets. We can confidently say that BricsCAD Mechanical provides value through its unified 2D and 3D environment for familiar and fast creation of manufacturing documentation. Working in a single environment, workflows are streamlined and users are able to get productive with minimal onboarding or disruption to document their manufacturing processes. Of course, we support industry standards compliance for manufacturing, such as ISO, DIN, JIS, ANSI, and more. Extended beyond that, we also integrate and share data with common mechanical CAD tools as well as PLM enterprise systems. For AutoCAD Mechanical, no translation or importing is necessary. Simply open a drawing and go. We help you further with this by providing import and export options for common mechanical CAD formats with Communicator and connect BricsCAD to more enterprise systems. So, what have we done for version 26.2 to expand on these ideas? Well, significantly, we've improved our data and workflow integration with new connectors for Autodesk Vault and Siemens Teamcenter PLM systems. These directly connect to our customers' plan of records and integrate within their digital workflows. We've also provided updated support for AutoCAD Mechanical to help with legacy files and to improve interoperability. But perhaps most significantly, we've improved our quality, stability, and performance. Simple examples are like that seen with the SM Repair tool. We can now select individual form features to repair, allowing better control and model integrity. Users can now also insert mechanical properties directly into title blocks and annotations. Ideas like this, delivering more stability and consistency, have been a significant focus for us and will continue to be so in the future. These are complemented by improvements to performance and stability overall. For example, we're seeing an 80% reduction in critical issues, particularly for those related to legacy DWG. Let's hand over to Callum Price to see these features in action.
Here we've got a sheet metal model with invalid form features. BricsCAD Mechanical V26.2 allows us to target the problem areas directly, repairing the feature locally without touching the rest of the model. The result is improved efficiency, with the feature fixed in seconds, with the overall model integrity preserved. Let's look at how BricsCAD Mechanical V26.2 improves documentation using associative title blocks and mechanical data. In many workflows, title block information has to be entered manually. That creates duplication and is very easy for drawings and models to fall out of sync. In V26.2, we can instead link this information directly to the model using the Field command. In Field, I open the title block property set I created and insert a property from it. Now, the title block is no longer static text. It is pulling live data directly from the mechanical properties in the model. So, if I update a property, for example, the date approved, the title block automatically updates. This removes repetitive manual entry and ensures drawing and documentation always reflect the latest design data. In BricsCAD Mechanical V26.2, we introduced new connectors for Autodesk Vault and Siemens Teamcenter. This allows manufacturing teams to bring BricsCAD directly into their existing data management environments, making it easier to adopt BricsCAD while continuing to work with the PDM and PLM workflows they're already used to.
Our objective for this presentation was to give you a clear sense of what's new, what's improved, and why these changes matter to your business. Today, you've seen highlights of our latest release, innovations designed to accelerate your workflow, streamline your processes, and unlock new possibilities for your teams. For general design, we presented enhancements for more intuitive geometry editing, for working better with dynamic blocks and production drawings.
And for industry, we explored industry-specific updates, delivering efficiency, quality and consistency for manufacturers with BricsCAD Mechanical, boosting collaboration for building an infrastructure with BricsCAD BIM, and streamlining surveyors' workflows with BricsCAD Survey.
We hope you leave with a better understanding of how Octave's BricsCAD version 26.2 stands apart as the true CAD alternative, offering the flexibility, interoperability, and advanced automation of modern design demands.
Thank you again, and we look forward to helping you innovate, document, and build better with BricsCAD.
Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for joining us for this V26 release presentation. Don't forget to download V26.2 and try it out for yourself. And keep checking the website to find tutorials with downloadable data and instructions to help you get productive fast. That's all, folks. Thanks again.